Of the announcer?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the whole. Oh yeah, then we lost Carl to 13.
We should have invited the sisters to just do it again. Yeah, they were amazing. They're so good. Yeah, hey, we should just have a back and forth right over the mic. But we just back and forth. We just have a conversation right over the mic.
So that's the mic?
He just like, I was like,
wait, is anybody here? Which one?
Are you good? You can also see
Then they can't see me. So it's about being on the can.
I didn't even jump. The ride to the smart guy.
Okay.
I can see right now.
Is there money on the line right here? Other than all the gators and the crystal necklace. Sounds like it should be money on the line.
It might just be.
I just realized I can only see the front row. You gotta put the camera by.
Oh, like you feel like you're not getting enough camera time right now.
Yeah, I was feel too much because I was saving the camera time for that.
Oh, I see. So you were like, you didn't want to be tired for like the live this part of the thing.
Yeah, the oohs, the ahs, that's what's really gonna take most of the
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, for you to. I'll be like, hey, tell me about home security system. Sell it to me right now. You have 50 seconds. I'm about to walk away. Sell it to me.
Just an ad in the middle of the broadcast.
I know. You should just take on just earn commission now.
I know, right?
You're worried about home security, and then just put her hand.
Yeah.
I got you. You're in good hands. You're getting your food? Your who? Your food? Oh, ow. Get it.
Don't hit the chair.
I'm getting my poopy jacket.
Here, wipe your Scoop it up.
This is what we were at. This is the question to ask last night.
He might be a zero.
That was Opie.
So what happened?
He's a zero.
Yeah, you're a zero. You're always here.
Somebody was gonna make a scavenger hunt for their.
Oh, that was me.
Was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, so you were the four, but you were four.
I said I was a 4.
That's a 4. A scavenger hunt.
I feel like if they're having, it's just a regular, like they're having a bad day, you put a couple notes around the house, they find a little gift.
That's I was Mel and I were 2, 1.
Yeah.
Janine was a 15. 15. Well, what would you?
I would say like a
1.5.
Yeah, I've been asked very recently to be more.
Oh yeah.
By my partner.
Oh yeah.
Only up from here, right?
Yeah.
So the other follow-up question was, were your parents?
Yes.
My parents separated when I was 6. So I'm in the middle. Maybe they were.
Maybe they were. Maybe not.
I have no idea. Was there like a correlation between romantic marriage and
well, I think some people said they didn't have that model, so they didn't. But some other folks said because they didn't have that.
They didn't have it,
Yeah, they kind of like compensated. But I would say like I think Amel and I probably we have kind of similar upbringings. Like have like immigrant parents who are academics, and I feel like my parents.
Since when the least of us is put in a position to win, everybody wins, I'd like to present a gift to the entire Ultimate community, but especially to Black players. The most common question I'm asked is, how do we make our sport more inclusive? I say, rather than fixing a broken system, in a community that's already like none other, let's be radical. With respect to equity, I want to establish the athletic standard.
What's up, Bree?
Dang, strong self. Okay, here are a few very quick tour updates. In the spirit of COVID, the community project has had to pivot, and now Disc.Diversity will be sponsoring a 6-week youth ambassador program in Philly, Seattle, and the Bay. The goal is to equip the young people to do what they do best, and that is remind adults how to be human.
Well, it's a tour where they're playing.
There are 2 pictures related to our project topic and a little advocacy spotlight I'd like to do. It's on education, equity and education. Whatever is in you from this past year, whatever you have seen and understood, it's correct, it's important, and I would love to shout it out. Yeah?
Okay, I'm gonna take these off so you can see my eyes. I'm Ruby, she, her, and in the past year, how has it changed for the better? Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think I've learned to be a lot more self-sufficient with my work. Like I've learned how to manage, well, I don't know if I've learned that much about time management, but I've learned how to like kind of regulate my own work, and also to like advocate for myself more, because like sometimes the teachers just need to step up a little bit, and you need to like have the, I don't know, the leniency to like reach out to them and tell them what you need. So I think that's what's changed for the better.
Hello, I'm Edwin, he, him. I'm going to be a senior next year, or this upcoming year. And something that education has changed for the worse, I would say, since everything was done online and we're gonna be going back in person, I feel like a lot of us are gonna be like really lazy, because we've all been like staring at the computer on Zoom. And then I know at least half the students who don't turn on the camera and don't participate, they're on their phone, because I'm like that too, I'm not gonna lie. Because some teacher is just so boring and you don't learn anything anyways.
Hi, my name is Hout. I go by he, him. I'm 15. One thing I learned from last year is that if something gonna happen, it's gonna happen. So don't think too much about it. If the sky gonna turn orange, it's gonna go orange. If he gonna go president, he gonna become the president. So don't think too much about it.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to turn on my camera. But my name is Jalise. I go by she, her. And something I think that made it worse for me was that it was hard to socialize, because I consider myself to be like a very open person, and it was really hard being the only one like stepping up and like communicating with people like through class, because like a lot of people didn't want to do that.
Edwin, welcome back. We missed you. For real, we missed you. Yes! Your headshot is a thing of beauty, Jalise, but I'm glad to see your actual face. Okay. We have some very special, I don't know what to say or like how to name them or call them. They are my friends. I am fortunate to be able to call them my friends, but they're also ultimate royalty. I'm not even gonna front. These babies are ultimate royalty, Khalif and Amel. They are going to lead us through some sort of experience in the importance the need, I don't know, the impact of music and art, just like Zig did for us last week with mental health. And I have to say something about it because I keep thinking about what Zig said. I don't know if y'all know Zig, but Zig is a coach for Ultimate Impact, for Age Up, sorry. And he played us this poem, and there are 3 things that came out of the poem that I keep on thinking about, and I'm gonna give them back to you. With respect to mental health, the poet said, first, I want to tell people all of the ways that I struggle, yeah? And he lists all of these things that I felt like he was talking about my life. Anyway, the second thing the poet said was, even though I want to say all of these things, I would rather not ruin your day. And that, again, was a page out of my own book, because I'm like, yeah, I need a lot of help, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be a burden to someone else. So the third thing the poet said was, and I have been chewing on this for days and days, he said, in response to the first 2 realities, he, as if he were a pumpkin, elected to carve his face into something acceptable to present to the masses. I can't forget that picture, and I keep thinking about it. And I know that play isn't on our agenda for the day, but I'm watching the Olympics. And I believe that y'all are too. And I am watching the Olympian of my heart right now, Simone Biles, not be a pumpkin. She out loud is saying everything she needs, and I'm loving it. And I am hoping to roll my love of how she's standing for her mental health into our week in music and art. What I'm gonna say is, with respect to my own mental health, well-being, joy, reason, I need music. I need music. A day without music is nearly a day without breathing for me, sincerely. So I don't know what they're gonna do or say, but I wanted us to think about that, to marinate on that. And I was gonna ask y'all, since I know you, but they don't know you, could we just say, and if I'm stepping on y'all's toes, say, no, Shani, could each of us just bounce around and say our names, say whatever you need to make yourself feel at home in our little space. And with respect to music and arts, on a scale of 1 to 5, yeah, could you rank its importance, its prominence, does that make sense? Shoot, yeah.
My name is Jalise. I go by she, her. And the importance of music for me is probably beyond a 5, because I listen to it every day, and it's an outlet for me. And I'm pretty sure it's an outlet for other people. So I consider it more than a 5.
Oh, I'd love to go. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Amel, she, her. Nice to see you all. Can't wait to talk to you about this stuff. Music for me, on a scale of 1 to 5, yeah, it's 5 or beyond 5. Yeah, music is how I relate to people. It's I feel like I define myself with music. I relate to other people with our music tastes. I find myself in music, whether it's lyrics or the musicality or whatever. I explore myself through music. I become other people listening to music. Yeah, it's kind of every aspect of how I exist and navigate the world.
Philip, I go by he, him. Music to me, it's gives me the energy I need for the day. It fills me up, and I guess it really helps with working out and everything I do in the day. So it helps me be active, I guess.
Music to me is a solid 20 out of 5, because I'm always listening to music in my room. I don't have a fancy explanation like everyone else has, but yeah, music keeps me calm, keeps me happy. Yeah.
20 says a lot. 20 says a lot, buddy. Thank you.
I think music is a solid 3.5 for me. I don't really need it, but I want it. It's easier to set PR with music than nothing. So, yeah.
And as we learn, the hope of this creation is that all that we acquire won't just be for us. We can give it to people who are also in need of a full human recovery, if that makes sense.
You're right. When he sees the throw, that's all that matters.
Oh my God, we're in the bottom corner.
Hell yeah. Nice. Great. So if y'all want to say stuff, talk. Because we're not going to have any audio.
Is this too zoomed out?
Do what? Lily, do you need me to move those bags?
And we're back. Welcome to the second stop of the inaugural Con10ent All Black Ultimate Frisbee Tour. Our Saturday, September 11th Philly stop did not disappoint. There was abundance of tangible, touchable, brotherly love.
While the Bay stands to be a very different experience, it will in no way be less than the Philadelphia side. Here on the left coast, the goal remains the same, to uplift the least of us, and in doing so, to engage both the scope and strength of the Ultimate Frisbee community. We hopped right into the first point here. Dark on offense.
Looking down the field. Centers it to Shani, who swings it down, and Castro cleans up the disc, and he gets there. He has Davis cutting deep, and he puts it. Is Little gonna come up with the D? No. Oh! Davis holds off. There's contact on the play. A foul has been called.
Antoine had steps there, but Nate Little was able to close the gap as that throw hung a little bit too long.
Well, what do you think? Antoine Davis was definitely there first. Little probably went into his back.
I think Antoine was in a pretty good spot there. I didn't quite see if Nate just got the disc or he went over his back there, but looks like they're figuring it out.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to send it back. Call was contested, and they will send it back. The disc is Rafael Castro, practice player with Revolver and player with the Spiders. And the disc is in. Looks off on Medel Kareem and Shani with the drop. And now it's lights out with the disc. Who's going to pick up? We have Michelle McGee.
Close poach there.
Finds a cutting Little. We have some great defense downfield, but he breaks free and he puts it deep into the end zone.
Covington.
And Castro gets the D. And now Hubby looks to Castro, and he's got a cutter. Is he going to throw it? He throws it to Abdullah. Steph has time. Called in. The first point not in. Hey. And Abdullah cleans it up to Davis, and the first point goes to Dark Matters. Not a bad first point, wouldn't you say, KJ?
That was pretty good. That was a pretty good first point. Davis able to reel in the score after the first shot to him didn't complete, but Dark was able to give a hold there, running a classic bird stack to start. Seemed like the wind definitely had a factor in that first point there. To us, it seems to be blowing from left on your screen to right, as some of those huck throws were floating a bit too much. But from a few minutes earlier on the field, the wind was swirling a bit, so expect that wind to change throughout the game here.
Yeah, but as we saw in that first point, they're not afraid to air it out. Even with the wind, we have confident throwers, so they're still going to throw it. So now line it up for the second point. On the screen, we have the Dark Matters team on the far right. There's Takesha Tarvin. Next to her is Amel Awadel Kareem. Oh, they're switching up the lineup.
It's a gorgeous day out here in the Bay, probably in the low 70s to upper 60s, slight breeze, but not a cloud in sight. Fleet Week is going on up here as well. There's a lot of planes flying around, but it's just a beautiful day to be out here playing.
Absolutely, I could not agree more, KJ. Is there anything that you're most excited for as the game starts before we get into it?
Before the game starts, after watching the Philadelphia game, I noticed that as the game went on, the players got more into it, got more competitive. The plays tightened up, and it just got to be a really fun game to watch. I'm excited to see that same level of competitiveness and spirit increase here as we keep playing.
Could not agree more. And now we have lights out, first offensive possession. Get a simple dunk to swing, but it's all right. We got a simple turn, but Dark Matters rushing down the field, trying to take advantage quickly. Oh, but good defense from Izzy Clater, stopping the throw. Jesse Bolden is a little late, but he closes the brink side throw. Now we have Green on the mark, swings it back over to 21. 21 looks back center, cutting from the front of the stack. To Choopsy, who and Jesse Golden gets the pick off. That's a great poach D. Oh, and he follows up with a look to Robinson. I gotta say, I thought that Robinson was gonna be there, KJ.
The throw was pretty good, didn't float too much, and had some good shape, but Covington was able to get there and just get a piece right before it got into their hands.
And so now will Dark Matters take advantage of this disc? Immediately get it over to the break side. Below low, looks back center, finds a cutting Tarvin, who lays out and makes the play. Centers to Covington, who's looking deep to a wide open below low in the end zone. How did he get so open?
Covington able to shoot over the vert stack there, which can be a scary throw sometimes because you have to put some air under it to clear all the people in the stack. But luckily, his receiver was pretty open, and that downwind side will have that throw drop some more. So he made a beautiful throw there.
Absolutely. Cut. I think there was a little miscommunication on the defense, as you can see in the replay.
Here's the first poach.
We're looking back a little bit. This is the first poach where Jesse gets the D.
And we'll see another D here by Covington. Right there, just a piece, just enough.
But Julian with the smile, he knows he could have gotten that disc. Oh, and here's a layout by Tarvin. What an incredible play to keep that disc alive. And there's the throw from Covington to below low, who catches it alone in the end zone.
The first thing I'm seeing from this Dark team is a lot of vert stack work, and it's been doing well for Dark. Light hasn't been poaching off the stack to try and get blocks yet, and inversely, Dark's been poaching off a lot, at least when they start on defense, which has caused some problems for Light. Let's see if they can make some changes. I'm curious to see if teams will stay in a vert stack here or switch to a hoe or more of a side like Light did their first offensive point?
Yeah, I think that's a great point, KJ. As we saw in the vert stack, actually, on that last point, they made it all the way up the break side. The first throw to the actual open side was that throw over the vert stack. And so we got to get that defense to tighten up so we can't let these breaks get off. And there is Khalif El-Salam with the pull. Mark Rawls blocks it and centers it to Payne. Cutting Nate Little, gets wide open in the middle. Is he going to look deep? Yup, he airs it out. We've got multiple players converging on the disc. Oh!
Two defenders closing in. I don't know if they got a piece of it, but their presence was definitely felt.
Could not agree more, KJ. So now Castro has the disc. Oh, and again, looking to the break side.
Ooh, okay.
Nice cut by Davis, but a little bit behind, and Little picks it up. Immediately looking downfield. A great cut back by Payne, who swings it all the way around. Oh! And Sean Plunkett gets up and converts, and Lights Out is on the board. 2-1. There you go. KJ Lights Out finally gets on the board. It's still a very tight game.
I think Awadil Kareem got a piece of that on the mark, if I'm not mistaken. The throw looked a little bit behind on that inside shot to Antoine Davis there, but I saw the disc wobble a bit. I'm curious to see if she got a piece of that mark on that inside backhand.
Yeah, I mean, we will get another chance right here. Nate Little puts it up.
At the moment, I'm about to eat the crap out.
This was the earlier drop. Such a close.
Bacon and chicken.
Honestly, it looked like a clean throw off Payne's hands, I think.
Oh.
Who are you most excited to see here playing today? I know that there are some of the players that made the stop at the Philadelphia game and some other players who are just playing this game here. Who do you want to see?
That is a great question, actually. We can see her on the line. Being a leader, vocal leader on the team, Amel Awadil Kareem. Someone that I'm very looking forward to see. She plays for Fury, but is also a coach.
Maybe next time.
Has a lot of skill, and I would love to see her out here on the field today. And chooses to let the frisbee go out of bounds, right in the corner, so it's a great pull. Really got to go get that disc?
I don't know, but this was probably the best pull of the game.
So who do you think they're going to send her to? We have Rawls in the middle. We also have...
Well, we get like a first throw turnover off of it too.
Cut from the three.
Oh! I think Rawls with the tricky. I think that was because of the shirt, let's be honest. I know he got me with that one. And Mark Rawls gets the score.
And Dovu just sneaks it in. Slides a little inside backhand there, right on that goal line.
Not gonna lie, KJ. I was confused too. Mark Rawls, red shirt, looking a little too close.
He's amped. He's absolutely amped with that beautiful poach.
He didn't even look at it.
All right, let's get to let's see the replay right here. Looking downfield, swings, and Mark Rawls just poaches off, had his head up. Great play.
I think it was forced forehand there, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't quite see it, but it's tough for that reset to be so far upfield, especially on that high side with the mark there. It's gonna oftentimes cause some problems if there's cutters in the stack or coming across that space there. Makes that poach a bit easier. But great heads-up play by Rawls.
Already three? Tough.
So now we have Dark Matters on offense. The score is 2-2. We have Jesse Bolton to pull to Awadil Kareem, Castro.
The crowd is still filing in.
Abdullah,
Energy is still going up.
Davis, Shani. Yeah, Dark is going to get it in a good position. Quickly centers the disc to Khalif, who finds the wide open Shani cutting, and finds an open Davis. Disc is moving quickly. Swings it over to the center. The force is still backhand. Gets it over the break side. The nice high release. And Mel showing off those handling skills. Salam with the gratuitous bid. Now we have Mel with the disc, taking her time, takes the easy center. Ooh, Shanice showing off a little bit of the scuba. Seth, nice around cut. And a pick has been called. We have Seth Abdullah with the disc, looking downfield. Castro at the front, simple breaks open. He puts out the throw, it's a little high, but Abdullah makes the play. What do you think of that little end zone setup?
That's just the classic give and go, fighting for the upline space. That throw from Castro, I don't know if it came out quite like he intended, but Abdullah got up big and was able to reel that one in. What an impressive catch.
Absolutely, let's see it again here. Castro with a nice simple cut. And as you said, Abdullah just takes the space, gets up and gets the disc.
I was able to throw down there for a little bit earlier, and the wind is definitely not easy to throw in, but the game's been relatively clean compared to what I expected with this level of wind. So.
Exactly, in the broadcast, maybe the fans will see the bushes blowing in the background. They're all fading left. So there is definitely a little bit of upwind, downwind this game.
Yeah, we're definitely protected up here, kind of in the booth, but I don't know what's going on. There's so much down there.
I think we have our first time out.
Game on. Eye contact.
And so while we have some time today, just wanted to give a little explanation of the venue. Our venue for tonight's showcase is Boxer Stadium. But more importantly, you can find us on all of our different social medias, Disc.Diversity, on Instagram, Facebook, our website, our email, YouTube, and Twitter. Please help support the events like this. If you're enjoying it and having fun, make sure to give us a quick follow.
Disc.Diversity also works with many different frisbee programs. I know Shanice specifically was able to wonderfully work with our Cal Poly slow men's and women's teams. Her and Choopsy Lemma were talked to us over this past year or so about what it means to be part of Disc.Diversity and just the general atmosphere of being a black player in Ultimate, but overall having the different experiences and be able to share all the different types of play and life experiences that we've had. It was a wonderful experience. So I personally want to shout out Shani Crawford and Choopsy Lemma for making that such a great experience for us.
Could not agree more, KJ. So here we have Robert Bryant leading the dark team. And it's early in the game, but we already have a timeout. What do you think he's saying in this circle? I mean, Salam is definitely taking the lead.
I think they're probably pointing out a little bit stuff about shape. I've personally liked so far what I've seen from Dark. I know that they've had a few scary throws here and there, but so far the score would agree by a touch too, but Dark has looked pretty clean so far. I can't imagine that the coach is too upset with how they're playing right now.
No, I definitely agree. It's early in the game. I think this is really the time to just settle in your game plan, make sure that everyone's on the same page, and just keep on doing it. Keep on keeping on. Yeah.
So are you local to this area? Where do you play around here?
Great question, KJ. I am Oakland, born and raised, but I am not currently on any club teams. See me in tryouts next year. But for now, you'll see me at regular pickup games and on the beach every once in a while when the series comes around. What about you, KJ?
Where do you play beach here?
So Ocean Beach is probably the best scene. They have a winter league every year, and they have the number of teams changes depending on the amount of people that want to sign up. So if anyone that's listening is interested in the beach season, you get to play on San Francisco Ocean Beach, and it starts at the end of this month.
Oh, wow. I imagine the wind's a decent factor in those games, right?
Well, as you can see, the wind is always going to be a factor in San Francisco, so it is always in your best interest to get out there and play in it.
Looks like Dark will be pulling after the timeout.
Yep, looks like Simon Covington is going to be pulling. And there have been some very good pulls so far. And so Simon with the rip. And it goes all the way down to the end line. Colton quickly centers to Boxley, who finds Ndovu, who has a cutting Clater, but looks her off. And finds a wide open Tarvin with the beautiful under. And Payne looks deep, and now Clater gets her shot, but Disc doesn't give her a chance. Clater was making some great runs. Every time I saw her, she looked like she was open deep.
She was open. Lemma was closing, though. That was going to have to be a slightly back shoulder fading throw there. Definitely not out of Payne's reach, but Lemma was pretty close there.
Yeah, maybe as you pointed out, maybe that was a little bit of the wind. It did go out into on the far right. Wasn't able to get the disc to turn over.
The defense didn't touch it on that when the throw went out there, so that the ball's going to come up to the point where the disc went out there, as you can see.
Yep.
Actually, you hold the bag. Here's the process.
We have Hutchinson cutting under, but she heard Izzy's footsteps. Now Colton going to pick up the disc.
Oh no! I got delivered.
Quickly centers to Williams. Who takes his time looking downfield. Who finds Boxley?
Oh yeah.
Remember, this is force flag.
Oh.
And he almost makes a play. Colton is unmarked, but he doesn't get the disc off. Finally gets to Payne. Looks off Ndovu to find Boxley, but the throw is a little behind. And Andrew Moore gets the D. Does he want the deep? Nope. He's taking his time, but the stall's getting high, so he has to put it up. And there's no one there except for Bilolo, who does not make the play. Instead, Ndovu comes out of the pile. And Boxley is going. But Green looks him off, centers to Payne. Finds Green with the quick cut across. And now, looks off the deep.
Great mark by Moore.
And Green was well defended as well, but Payne with the release valve. Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought that Williams got tripped, and it seems like that was the case.
Simon Covington must have just caught the back of his shoe there.
And they're a little clump. They're gonna spread out, move down the field, swings it to center. Oh, and it just squeezes its way through Colton's hands. And Dark Matters has an opportunity.
There have been a few turns at this point. Let's see if the Dark team can prevail through a little bit of fatigue here.
Exactly. As these points get longer, they want to throw it farther. And Bilolo gets there.
That was a beautiful shot by Andrew Moore. He probably wanted that one back after a few turnovers earlier. He had to put one up from a rising stall and no open downfield cutters. But that throw just had a perfect amount of float and edge to it so it could come into Bilolo's hands there right at the front of that end zone. What a nice throw.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love both teams' willingness to put the disc deep, even in these conditions.
They've not been shy for sure. I think I would be holstering a lot, but also they've been completing a high percentage. It's been good.
I mean, as they say, right? This is an exhibition game. You might as well show off.
I'm waiting for Nate Little to show off here. I know.
Well, he is on the line, number 25, for those who don't know.
I remember playing Nate Little way back when I played YCCs. He played for a Philadelphia team called Philadelphia Forge. They were a mixed team from there. And he was absolutely unguardable when we were playing him. So I can't imagine now that he's had even a few more years of experience under his belt.
Definitely looking forward to it. He's got some talented handlers by his side, so we will see if they will take advantage of that athleticism and see if we get any incredible plays.
Little was also a part of Philadelphia's AUDL team this year and had some really impressive plays that I think made the top playlist for each week. So be on the lookout for 25, Nate Little.
It was all over.
Yep, Salam with the pull, number 99. It's a little out of bounds. So his teammate, Jesse Bolton, they both play on Seattle Mixtape, is going to come in with the disc, go to center. And so not many people know, but Jesse Bolton used to be a cutter until about his senior year in college when they decided to move him to handler position. And ever since then, he's really taken on to his own and really set himself apart as one of the premier handlers in Ultimate.
Nate Little putting it up.
And Mark Rawls hounded by the D.
He's got tripped up, looks like. You know Jesse Bolton from school, right?
I do indeed. Jesse Bolton and I both went to Carleton College. He played for the Division I team there, Cut, or others said, the Carleton Ultimate Team. Very creative name, I know. Yeah, Jesse taught me everything I know, but clearly didn't teach me enough for me to be on the field today.
Payne showing some good spirit there. She caught it just out of bounds and ruled herself out as well. That's what it's all about.
And we have Amel looking at Salam, who cuts up line and gets open, but the disc never comes back in bounds. So Michelle McGee is going to pick up.
I think McGee got a piece of that as well on that break side up line, looks like.
And now they have a chance to put it in the disc. Opie Payne with the streaks up line. Instead, we got the quick center. Everyone wants to score. Everyone's cutting into that corner. Oh. I gotta say, KJ, that looked a little forced.
Yeah, Lights Out was pushed pretty close to that thrower sideline, which didn't give much space for the thrower, made it really tough there.
And Salam wants to get the disc out of his end zone, so he puts it deep to Shani. Almost makes the play. It was there, but Nate Little coming from behind definitely applied a lot of pressure at the end.
I mean, there was pressure.
Zoe Rao, Nate Little calling for it, but she looks him off. Instead, we have Jesse.
Antoine wanted that throw to go up. I think he was baiting that throw.
Oh, little shake, but now Mark is. Oh, he looks downfield, gets it to Nate.
Someone.
Hey. Oh. And that is why you have a tight stack, something that you pointed out before, KJ. When your spacing is correct, you can find these needles in a haystack. That didn't look open, but Nate and the handler made that connection very clean.
As I was saying earlier, I think that first beautiful throw. I think that first possession they had for Light in the end zone was a bit crowded there, but luckily they were able to recognize that just within that point alone, make the correction and hit a beautiful throw there. It wasn't quite visible on camera, but I think Nate probably had 10 more yards at least towards that far sideline where the throw could have gone further or even wider. So just beautiful spacing and great execution as well.
Definitely, gotta love those midpoint adjustments. And so now the score is 4-3. Dark Matters is up, and they are on offense.
The sun's starting to kind of go down behind the building here too. It's fading behind us, and the bleachers and stadium box might get in the way here. So we're starting to see some shadows creep onto the field. I'm curious to see if those are going to impact the players, especially when the shadows start creeping about halfway across the field there. What do you think, Michael?
I think that we definitely have some time before anything too serious happens, but I definitely would agree it's not fun to play on where your depth perception is definitely taken off when you have those shadows.
It's getting cool too. I don't know if it's just from sitting here, but it's definitely getting cooler. Touch cooler at least.
Exactly. Sunny San Francisco Bay is always a little chilly. So now we can see lights out. They're talking about their defense. We've only seen man so far, correct, KJ?
We've only seen man so far. In the Philly game, we saw a lot more zone. At least I'm curious to see if coaches start implementing that, or if they're just going to tell their players to call it on the line if they really want to see it. But I would love to see some switching of the defense here so that we can try and change the field and make the offenses really think about something else.
Right, because right now Dark Matter's just tearing up this man. They're marching their way downfield. Oh, but it finally seems like their momentum has stopped. Oh, but Seth squeaks it in to Shani, who makes the easy throw to Covington. Who finally, Shani with a great cut, pushing Rath off just a little bit. Gets it back to Covington. Oh, but there has been a call on the play.
Shani Crawford is working those break sides. I love to see her hitting those around backhands there. It's beautiful, keeping the disc moving.
Oh yeah, driving hard up line, coming back and getting the disc.
Inside shot.
Speaking of that inside lane, that has been a little bit of a pattern. Every time that we get, the first times we've been getting into the end zone, most of these turns have been come from trying to squeeze it through. Oh, we get the disc to Robinson. Robinson gets it the deep this time. And he's got an open cutter, but instead takes the easy throw to Green. Oh. And then we have Lemma run through Clater.
I like the patience by Robinson after he caught that deep shot there, but it didn't quite work out. I think the folks coming through were just a little bit too discombobulated when they were running through that space there.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to love the resilience of Dark, but I think we have Seth standing out of bounds.
It's unfortunate.
And it goes right back to Light.
I don't think he realized that he was catching out of bounds there.
No, I don't think so
It's
either.
Always tough ones to lose.
So is Lights out gonna take advantage and get this break? A good start, centering it to middle to McGee, who finds an open Plunkett.
Clater waiting for that next cut.
Oh, and Clater makes it, and Robinson
Back shoulder
puts it.
fade.
And is Clater there? Oh! Clater just short. But I gotta say, I'm loving the offense out of Light's D-line.
I love that throw. That shape was good. I think it was just like half an inch too far for Clater there, but good decision. I think that 8 out of 10 times that'll complete there.
Absolutely.
I agree with you that it's fun stuff from Light so far.
I hope, as you said, I hope that this doesn't discourage them from keep putting them up. They're just a little shy. Oh, and we saw the Tarvin on Tarvin matchup, but the disc goes out of bounds. I would have loved to see who got the bragging rights, who got to talk about that when they got home. And now McGee looks up line, and Green squeezes it through, but it pops up on him. Oh, and now we have Bilolo going, and Covington wants to throw it. Oh.
It looked like Sean had hit his arm there the way that came out, but I guess he got all the disc on Covington there.
Yeah, it seems like we're giving excuses he doesn't need. It just goes to Lights out.
He knew Covington wanted that deep shot with that cutter streaking deep there. He was able to get his hand in front of it.
Oh, yeah,
Good mark.
Everyone in the stadium knew. And Robinson with a great cut. He's moving off the disc. Oh, but a little miscommunication, and Covington gets his hands there.
No, Simon. Next time.
It's funny the flows are working out so well for them, but I think they just got a little bit too sped up that possession. Lemma with the center, but it pops up. And Plunkett makes the play.
That was
Back
for sure.
to Clater to Plunkett. Finally, we've got the disc. They're stationary.
Plunkett needs to get it off that
cuts
grab
up line
sideline.
and gets there, but not in. Oh.
There's the score.
A violation has been called. Michelle McGee was inside the end zone when she made the pass, so it should be coming to the end line. So people will have to reset. There will be some movement.
Robinson had the score there, but unfortunately it was called back.
And this gives the defense a chance to set up. Will they be able to make the play? No, Robinson makes the clean cut and completes the play.
Gets the goal again. Love to see it.
Exactly. He said, no, I scored the first time, I will score again.
As you mentioned, we had the Takesha and Maisha Tarvin matchup on each other there. Love to see some more of that. They're two twins. I think Takesha actually went to University of Oregon and played there. I remember seeing her at some of the college ultimate tournaments, and I actually had the privilege of playing with Maisha. Most of us know her by Radish at Layout. She's lived down in the LA area for a while, so I spent some time with her. But very fun matchup to watch.
Yeah, and as we're seeing on this replay here, it was a long point. There were definitely some back and forth, but Lights Out got the break, and it's 4-4. And I can hope you can hear the crowd going on here. We have some fans with us at Boxer Stadium.
Fans still making their way into the game here.
Yeah, I gotta say, I do love knowing that there's so many people out here willing to support Black Ultimate.
Hey ladies, if we could do anything like hold your water. I'm ready for the next
now we have on the line. It is 4-4. Light to pull.
How many people traveled here to see this game?
Receiving, we have. So on the line, we have Tarvin, Williams, Little, Rath, Boxley, Payne, and the elusive 16, who is not Trent Dillon, even though he is wearing his jersey.
Rath on that line, number 99, is a player that I've been really excited to watch. She has played Colorado Quandary as a defensive handler, and I know that I've known several of her teammates from that team, and Quandary is definitely an up-and-coming women's college team that is going to be at nationals and make the mark. So watch out for Zoe Rath and Colorado as well.
Yeah, and she did have that nice break, and Obi Payne a little short, but Nate Little cleans it up. And he gets that first cut, puts it out to Tarvin, who gets and closes off the point with a good grab. And Lights Out is now in the lead. It's a pretty quick turnaround. It was 4-2, and now here we are.
Nate Little just doing it all again, saving the ball, throwing the score there. You'd love to see that.
Gotta say, we do love a back and forth game.
Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
Just keep it high.
Do you have any other players that you're excited to see out here playing today? I know that we're kind of jumping all around as picking players who we have been excited to watch or have watched before, and just try to mimic our game after theirs because they're such good players. Is there anything else you want to see?
I want to shout out Andrew Moore. As we know, this is the Con10ent Tour, and so this is a moment for empowerment. And Andrew Moore plays for Revolver, and there's something that he said in his bio that really stood out to me, or one of his answers to questions, is that one of the main reasons he wants to play in this game is that he hopes that he can set an example so that every team can have someone that looks like him. And I would say that every time he does step out on the field, he sets an example for all these young people looking to play Ultimate. And that's what really this tour is all about, and I think that he embodies that every single day when he goes out and plays at some of the highest level of Ultimate that we have.
Totally agree, totally agree. I've been lucky enough to play against Andrew for a couple of years now, whether that be in AUDL or on club, and I can tell you that he is one of the hardest working players out there. He always just leads by example. It's been really fun to play against him. He's really passionate as well and comes out in his play.
And here we have the pull. Sean Plunkett. Now this one is going, and does it land in bounds?
Right on the line, it looks like.
Oh. And here we have Andrew Moore centering the disc.
Normally a defender, I think, but I guess they gave him the ball as a center handler after those earlier beautiful throws that we saw to the end zone.
He wants to he takes the space and pushes forward. And let's see what Andrew Moore does with the disc. Oh, he looks deep. Is he going to do it? No. Doesn't want to start off the point that way. Wants to keep it simple. Swings it to Amel. Who Julius Hubby, who was that first deep cutter, came all the way to get that under.
Great catch by Hubby.
And Andrew Moore definitely showing his patience on the disc. And now we have Hutchinson looking back middle to Moore. who gives the quick break to Amel, who has an open Hutchinson, but doesn't take it. But Moore does, and Hutchinson holds her ground and makes the grab. And now puts it over the stack, and unfortunately into a few too many people. Mark Rawls gets the D, but a foul has been called.
Looks like hubby will be taking an injury sub. Didn't quite see exactly what happened,
but you hate to see it.
Hopefully he can get back on the field in a few points or so.
We have Davis coming in to replace him. And Jesse Bolton centering, or picking up the disc and moving up to the center.
Make sure we're all healthy. It's always good to take a moment.
And so we've seen a lot of vert stack this game, and it has been working out for them.
Beautiful upline move by Rawls there.
Oh, and he has too many people going deep that but he squeezes it through. And Davis decides, I'll put it, and Moore is there, but he does not get there.
Antoine threw that throw pretty hot there. Moore just can't quite reel it in.
Yeah, I will say probably didn't come off the way that he wanted it to, but the idea was right.
Moore was open by some steps there. I definitely like the decision.
I wonder if there are any nerves getting to the players, because there have been a decent number of drops on things that players of this caliber usually would not drop. Would you say it's just on the bright lights in front of the fans? What do you think is on their minds, KJ?
I think it's probably a mix of things. Obviously, the wind is a little bit of a factor here. I think the crowd too is still filing in, still growing, and we can hear them up here. It's actually hard to hear us talking between each other sometimes when the crowd gets going off of a turn or a big score here.
Hutchinson with the savage hand block. This went straight down, and now they're cutting across. They're open. They want it, but Davis doesn't give it to him. Instead, gives it around, and another pick has been called.
He just ran right around you.
I think Rawls will be marking here, probably trying to seal around if a cut comes from the back of the end zone here, which it's either going to come from the back here or from Andrew Moore in the front. Looks like Antoine Davis actually ran the upline.
Yep, and now Moore gets the center.
Interesting.
And you can't see it on the screen, but Jesse Bolton is giving Nicholas James some steps. Is he going to take advantage?
Sometimes you got to make I'm tired calls.
Another call.
Jesse Bolton seemed pretty confident that James would come back into the stack there, but he definitely had some space.
Oh, and just speaking of space, Andrew Moore takes that upline space, and just with his last step, gets it in bounds to get the score to make it 5-5.
Antoine Davis loves those low releases there. If we can see that assist again, both his forehand and his backhand side like to go off really low, which will, one, help in this win, and two, whatever the mark was there, it's definitely hard to get a piece of that. There's that backhand throw. He fakes that low throw, hits that around off that low backhand. Beautiful throw. Really hard to guard.
Absolutely. So for our fans at home, can you tell us a little bit, how does the wind affect the frisbee?
At least in terms of having one solid wind in a direction, if you show the bottom of the disc to the wind, it'll want to pop it up, and if you show the top of the disc to the wind, it'll push it down. So generally speaking, if there's wind blowing in one direction, the wind won't be as ferocious closer to the ground there. So a lot of players who drive their throws from low, like Antoine Davis did there, have more success throwing in the wind because, one, they're driving it low and out of the wind, and two, when you throw it low, you kind of get some more snap and spin on that disc as well, which definitely helps when you're throwing in windier condition as well. The more spin you can get when it's windier, the better. It creates a small little vacuum around the disc there, which ultimately helps it from turning over and losing balance there.
Great insight. Thank you for explaining that, KJ. Something that you will struggle with, and I would say that repetition is really the only way to ever get good at throwing in the wind.
Does the wind normally die here as the sun goes down? Is it kind of?
Yeah, as the sun goes down, it does die. I mean, because we are in San Francisco Bay Area and we are near the bay, it is more windy here pretty much consistently throughout the hours. But as the sun starts to set, we will see the wind start to die down.
Unfortunately, I think this game is timed just so that as the sun goes down, this game will probably be over. There's no lights on this field, unfortunately, but the wind has proven to be a fun challenge to watch these good throwers show off their skills in.
Oh, and Robinson was going deep again. Will he do it?
Nate Little wants it
Oh,
deep.
No, and now we have Payne all alone. Oh, but Bilolo cuts off the post, and Shani gets there super early and cuts across. As you said, those throws just a little short, being hounded by the wind, and those just a little long going downwind.
It seems to have shifted now from the wind going to the right to the left, at least based on the depth of the poles and those throws carrying a little more than we wanted. But overall, it hasn't been like one consistent wind. You can see the plants in the background there kind of moving right to left as well. So I think the wind is starting to move that direction.
And it's definitely something that's very hard to keep track of in the middle of the point. But these throwers are definitely doing a good job working the disc upfield. Payne with it now, who just hands it off, and Nate Little makes the play. Green gives it up. Payne on the far side, puts it deep again, but it turns over, and Bilolo makes the play.
What an amazing block. Just got a hand right in there as the disc was diving in there. Beautiful play.
Yeah, dude, and that was so heads up. That he was facing the other direction when the disc went up, but he made sure that he heard the up calls and turned his head and made the play.
You had a couple dudes that did.
Speaking of grabs, Tarvin catches the disc that was a little behind, makes it look easy. And then Bilolo puts it up to Khalif El Salam, who has two. But the disc is caught by none. I think Khalif just wanted to play a little bit more frisbee.
A throw sat up there just for a touch, and Boxley was closing on it, but it just had enough shape to kind of get right to his hands. I think Khalif just couldn't get a good grip on it. It might have bounced with the wind too. I know earlier the disc was for sure bouncing, and it makes it tough to catch, and especially with those one-handed catches there.
Yeah, that is something that KJ did not mention in his description of how the disc affects. But there are a lot of times where you will be running towards a disc in the wind, and it will either shift high or low, just depending on a gust. And that can be very hard to predict, which is why you're always recommended to catch the disc with two hands when it's windy.
And your eyes turn into saucers.
And again, disc gets thrown into a scrum, and no one comes up with it.
I know if I'm cutting under and a disc bounces and I have two hands like flat, like not alligator catching, like when you just reach out and the disc bounces, my heart skips a beat, man. That's terrifying.
Absolutely. People always make it easy for yourself. Just clap the disc. Just like Robinson did there. He's taking no risk, but he wants to put it deep, but it turns over too soon. And Salam gets the play.
Hey, Cleve, you caught that one.
Light or dark may think about calling a timeout here. There's been a few turnovers on this point. I imagine the players are feeling some fatigue. They're starting to work it down here with some more patience. Hitting the ace on a lot of these swings here. Great lateral movement and still gaining yards. It's been beautiful. With a nice around throw over to Covington. Great lateral movement and spacing to the ace there. That is exactly what you want to see from Dart.
Great throw by goodness, and Wakadu finally adjusted to all the wind that we've been describing and put it just on a platter for Covington to just run it down.
Covington has been all over the place this game. I feel like whenever I'm looking at the field, he has the ball, he's cutting deep, or he's getting the block. Wouldn't you agree?
I could not agree more, honestly. He's a name that I've said a lot because he's out, as you put it, he's making plays. Just like that play by Bilolo, who caught the disc, and now with the put of his own to Salam that was just a little shy of being caught. a long point, but it is still even, 5-5. We have our wonderful commentators, Tiffany and Julie, out here. I hope that you can hear their chant.
Sorry if we're have some gaps in our commentating here. We have Julia and Tiffany Wallace doing some announcing at this game, absolutely hyping up the crowd, just doing what they do best. It's been fun to listen to them too.
Absolutely. We can only talk so much about frisbee when sometimes we just gotta talk, maybe just keep the energy and the spirits up. I believe there's another timeout. So, do you think there are any adjustments that need to be made, or just clean up the little things and just catch the disc?
It looks like a lot of these turnovers are coming on throws that are trying to push the disc down the field, either on aggressive inside shots. We've seen a few throws go behind folks there, and also on some deep shots that just we couldn't get a hand on. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a lot of like strategic things, but some execution errors so far. I'd be curious to see what would happen if defenses have changed, or tried running a few more set plays.
No, absolutely. I think you said it well. I think they're just forcing it a little bit too much to both teams, but if both teams clean that up, there's no reason that they both can't just score over and over and over again.
That song written by Stevie Wonder was actually written for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That is a song, but a lot of us just sing that.
Sorry, again, on the commentary, we're just learning some facts.
It's a very nice birthday song. It is my favorite birthday song. Is everybody hyped? Get your activate, get your hype.
It's like you're on the football field, you know? It's like you're at a sporting event and you get like going.
That's right. We love it. Happy birthday. Enjoy yourself. And you came and spent your birthday with us. Yeah.
Do you think the score reflects how the teams have played so far? Who would you, if you just watched this game without seeing who had scored, what would you say the score prediction would be?
Great question. I would say that I do think that the score aligns with kind of how the game has been played. Both teams haven't necessarily been converting on their first opportunities. It's taken usually 2 to 3 for the team to convert, and it's been O-line, there have been breaks, there have been holds, but there has most definitely been a back and forth. And so it's not surprising to me that neither team is setting themselves apart, but it is a long game. We are playing to 15. There's plenty of opportunity for one of them to pull away, KJ.
Yeah, we saw in that Philadelphia game that I believe Dark went up by a good margin early, but obviously the game got a lot closer towards the end, so can't discount either of these teams. But I would tend to agree with you. I think Dark has been a touch cleaner probably on their away shots. I think the general stack shape and unders have been kind of the same for both teams, but I think Dark has just had the edge on huck completions here. We don't have the exact stats, obviously, for huck completions, but just from watching it, I think that Lights had trouble completing some of those same third away shot hucks here. Let's see if they can clean that up.
Oh, I think you said it well, same third. I mean, but maybe it is actually have to do a little bit of the wind. Most of the deep shots that we have seen that have turned over too soon and have not followed have been going from left to right.
True.
Going upwind.
True. Yeah, just on that close sideline, just to the right of your screen right now, on those flick shots have just been kind of tailing into defenders if they're on that right side of on the correct side of the defender, if it's a forced flick there. So maybe some back shoulder, or even if they can get some more IO on it and just put it out to the back of the end zone. It should sit in this wind.
Absolutely, I think you're right. Both of these teams have the athletes and the players where if you just put it out, you can let someone just run on and make a play. But it is definitely hard in these conditions. A lot easier for the downwind team.
I've been impressed with Robinson so far on light. He seems to be making really good decisions, kind of running the up lines, playing in a good system here, making good cuts downfield. I want to see Robinson have more of an impact in this game going forward here. I'll be looking out for him.
Yeah, and Robinson is a new addition to the Bay Area scene. He just moved here 3 months ago from Brooklyn, New York. He's studying black geography at UC Berkeley, and it's great to see him integrated into a new place and already making waves in San Francisco Ultimate.
Yeah, I was talking to him a bit earlier, and I was asking him if he was planning on playing with Berkeley's Ultimate team there. He said he was just a touch too old to play in the college scene still, which Cal is probably pretty bummed about. But as a player for Cal Poly Slow's team, I'm definitely thankful that he won't be playing for Cal, because I know that he would be a huge addition for them, and I'd be scared if I had to play against him on the field. And he's been dominant so far.
And now here we go, Dark pulling to light. Jesse Bolden stopping the disc. Looks off Payne, and we see a change in the defense, KJ. We have a zone. What do you think about this switch to zone? Do you think it's the right time after timeout?
It looks like we have Antoine Davis and Andrew Moore playing on that back side of the zone there.
Oh, and speaking of Andrew Moore, he lets McGee slip behind. That might have honestly been a little bit of miscommunication between Moore and Davis. I saw Davis kind of let McGee off, and Moore just didn't go back and commit a little soon enough.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Moore saw him there. I was just about to say that if I were to pick two any guys to have in my backfield in a zone, it would be Antoine Davis and Andrew Moore. They both have great closing speed, are really good in the air, but I guess announcer's jinx, right? I didn't say it, but I thought it.
That's fair. That's true enough. And so the first instance of an on-hand zone successful. No turns.
A touchdown win too, so we'll see if the effectiveness of the zone changes as these teams throw it if a break occurs here.
That is actually why I asked, KJ. I was curious to see what you would think about it, deciding to run a zone when your team is going downwind. Doesn't that make it easier to throw over the top?
Yeah, in theory it should be. I think maybe they were thinking that we've seen some throws get shot too far this game, and maybe they were hoping that they would try and push the disc, and not only do you have Andrew Moore and Antoine Davis back there, but maybe if you try and out-throw them, the disc will go too far for anybody to get. So the idea was good. I think that either direction here, the wind isn't going to be that much of a factor in terms of affecting it. Maybe they were just trying out to see what personnel do best and just getting their legs under them in terms of getting their zone ready for later in the game here. I like the look.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it is important to switch it up, make your offense see different defenses, put a little bit of hesitation into them when they pick up the disc.
Definitely. I like seeing Christian Boxley back there behind the disc. I've mostly known him to be more of a downfield cutter. I've seen him behind the ball a few times, but it's great to see him back there handling.
Yep, and so Nate Little pulls, El Salam gets it, centers it to Awadel Kareem, who has Covington in the middle, and they're a little poached off of Salam, so they got two defenders. And so Salam just takes the easy one. Tarvin, easy cut. We have some Tarvin on Tarvin crime. Oh, speaking of crime.
That's what we were talking about earlier.
Maisha with hand block.
Check the disc. Check the disc.
Check the disc. Oh, and the good pressure by Nwakadu makes Zoe drop the disc, and they're streaking deep, but Amel decides to keep it chilly, and just with the center, and Salam with the fake turns Plunkett all the way around. So now we have goodness. What are they going to do with it? Yeah, they're going to take the easy throw to Salam, who cuts back field. That's a nice four-side throw to James, who hits Covington in the end zone for the score. And again, I think I've said the name Covington. He's everywhere, KJ.
He's everywhere, getting goals.
All right, getting goals, throwing goals. Love to see it.
Dark came out in a side stack there with lots of horizontal space to work with. All their players were stacked basically on the sideline, which gave them a lot of room to work with. I liked seeing that. I think the hand block was just a great mark, but I would like to see them run that again. There's so much deep and under space that I think that in general looked a little better than their vert stack there.
Yeah, you got to give Lights Out some credit. When they picked up the disc, they immediately recognized the offensive setup, and they had someone poaching in the lane. So those first few cuts that usually the side stack opens up so much were all closed off. Well, I like to see that they're switching up the offenses and defenses. Let's see what we have on this point. We have Dark pulling to Lights, and it is 6-6.
Andrew Moore out there for dark. Same with Seth Abdullah. I would imagine if they were to go zone right now, those two would probably be on that backside. I think Shani would be down, probably in their flat front three, if you will. It wasn't exactly a cup, if I recall correctly. It looked more just like a flat three defenders to try and get some more horizontal throws in.
I think that's a good guess. Is that what you're going to go for?
I'm gonna say they're gonna run zone again. What do you think?
After we saw the last zone, they're going down the same winds. I think that with the line, I could definitely see it happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go man and just see if they can hold and stop these deep shots that we've been seeing kind of make their way over the top ever since the last time out.
If it is a zone, Hubby's pulling, so he would probably actually be in the back then with Andrew Moore. We'll find out right now.
And here we go. The pull stays in bounds, and it's going to be picked up by Colton Green. And it looks like we have a man. 1 point for me.
Oh. Dug that throw by
Great snag
Boxley.
by Colton, who catches the disc that was popping up. Looking downfield, taking his time and tries to squeeze it into McGee, and it just hits the ground.
Shani with the emphatic fake. Great.
Oh no, the hubby with there's a little dropsies go on the field.
I like Shani's fakes there though. It's really good communication with her cutters and generally allows them.
Speaking of fakes, Boxley with the high right hand. Every defender looked, and the cutter just made the way to the open side.
I want to see that throw again. I missed exactly where his fake was. But beautiful shot on that far side. Just floated.
Yeah, 7-7. 1 point away from half. Number 16 getting his deserved high fives. Let's see what the replay. Let's see what we got. And there's a pause to the turn.
The fake high release backhand.
And the wide open cutter in the end zone. Show him some love.
Boxley able to release both of those, or at least his fake was a high throw fake, and his foot came out really high too. It's let his receiver have time to get under it, and the wind didn't have much of a chance to push that down. I know earlier in the point we saw that inside shot just get a little bit behind and a little bit low for the receiver. Those high shots are going to be a little bit easier to get under, especially going downwind there.
Where a lot of people have a role that they could play in playing ultimate.
So now lights out on D. Nate Little with the pull. It's going to go, but
sitting up there.
The wind carries it out of bounds.
It's hard to read exactly if it's going to be in and out from this angle and from this depth.
Could not agree more. So we have Salam is going to be the centering the disc. He's got cutters Tarvin, Hutchinson, and Wakadu, Davis, and Bilolo, all wide open. Davis giving himself plenty of space to get this under. And Nate Little just lets it happen, doesn't want to give up the deep. Davis pointing, directing traffic, puts it out, gives Bilolo
Beautiful
time.
round throw.
Oh, Hutchinson with a great under, leaves Tarvin behind. Owen wants to hit it to Keisha, but instead centers to Davis, who shows good patience, has an open Castro. Williams was poaching off, and Castro forces it to Bilolo.
That throw was coming in pretty hot there. He released it from low and tried to put some zip on it to get it right into Bilolo there, but unfortunately just sailed right outside of his grasp there.
I believe we're definitely seeing a trend, KJ. When they're taking their time and they're taking the easy shots, they're making the game look beautiful. But when they're pushing a little too fast and they really want the score, is when these insides are coming out. And we're getting these turns.
Those inside shots are tough to hit right now. The lateral movement has really been helping them change the flow here.
Yeah, let's see how Salam handles it. Yep, he doesn't want to take that inside. He knows. So instead, he takes the easy center, Davis.
Anton going side to side.
Yep, and now they're just going to swing the disc, see if there's anyone cutting to that side. Nate Little poaches off to stop the around
Davis
throw.
asking for something else.
Oh, but Davis leaves him behind with the angle. Castro can't get him, but he hits him anyway, and Davis gets the score. And that half goes to Dark Matters, 8-7.
Antoine Davis just commanding the point there, asking for the disc back, making a lot of space. And the rest of Dark doing a great job, able to clear space from.
Yep.
What a great game we have so far.
Clapping it up as a well-deserved point. It's been a hard-fought, very close game so far, KJ.
Been a very close game. Dark seemed to have cleaned it up a touch. Light's still hanging in there. I'm excited for the second half.
Yeah, I am as well. They definitely both have some opportunities to clean things up, and they both have adjustments they can make to really try and set themselves apart from the other team. So I'm looking forward to the second half. We gotta say, I love all the smiles on the faces. Well deserved. A round of applause from the crowd. It's a lovely day in San Francisco. And again, thank you all for joining us for the Con10ent All Black Ultimate Tour. It's a pleasure to have you all here. Cool. Yeah, and so we're going to be going to half. We'll be joining you again shortly. Thanks for being here with us.
We should switch out the battery.
Black is much more than a color. Black is an energy, it's a spirit. It's cosmic space. It's the origins of everything. It's the womb-universe. Black is our history. But we aren't just the past. We are the present. We are here, and we are now. Every moment we breathe, history is being made.
Arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. All of y'all who think we need more evidence, you goofy. I said arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. And Elijah McClain too. Y'all hold that boy. Arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. All of y'all who think we need more evidence, you goofy. I said arrest the killers of Breonna Taylor. You catch the vibe? Now get off my page.
Responsible business is now sort of an essential facet of the future economy. Like, I'm talking like every business needs to start thinking about their social and especially environmental impact.
And if we look at all the problems that we have in the world today, they're not going to be solved by our governments and the not-for-profits. I think business has a really big role to kind of play. B Corp really kind of helps companies through the certification really understand that and kind of dig into their impact further.
Since it's what you cooking,
I'm in New York, where it be cold. Look at my neck, cause it's iced out. I'm in the field, we going up. Told him to cut all the lights out. You want a problem, you better think about it, cause I come with a price now. I get a go, I do not think about it, I don't go with that hype style. Yeah, you want a problem, little bitch, I ain't involved. Everything that we talk about still left unresolved. Baby, you was just the one playing, that's how I recall it. If I look through these Cartier frames, I don't even see love. Staying up, I get no rest. Don't gotta sleep, yeah. Best. Shorty can see, tear. Gangin' you dead. You should've seen this. Put some dollars on your head. Then I repeat it.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to the second stop of the Con10ent tour. We're here in beautiful San Francisco as the sun's setting and the weather's kind of cooling down, the wind's calming down for the second half of the Dark Matters versus Lights Out game. I'm KJ Koo, and I'm here with
Michael Bello Baco Hodgson, and we're excited to be here with you today. We're, as KJ already put it, we're back in the second half. Is there anything you're looking forward to, KJ?
I think the game's going to tighten up, get a little more competitive here, see a little bit higher execution than we saw in the first half as the wind calms down and as the players really tighten it up. It's already a close game, but I expect just like the Philadelphia game, it's going to tighten up and it should make for an exciting finish here. The fans are really excited to be out here. I was fortunate enough to talk to some of them at the half, and they're having a great time, so it's good vibes all around out here.
Yeah, I gotta say, while we do expect the play to tighten up, the players were definitely loosened up. They were dancing during halftime, just having a grand old time with the fans. And now we've got our first pull, and we are back. And Opie Payne picks up the disc and centers to Green, who gets a hard fake and just quickly throws it to Little, who has an open Clater, who goes back to the break side. Now we've got Boxley, who has an open Tarvin, Maisha Tarvin, but instead takes the easy under, who then throws it deep to Green, but Hubby is there. He's going to make the play. Oh. Yes.
Hubby takes a hard fall, seems to get up okay. Glad to see that.
Yeah, let's see it again. Opie Payne shoots the look to Green. The disc just hangs for a second too long, and Hubby is able to get over there and make the play.
It's always a little bit scary when a player gets pushed when they're in the air right there. I think Hubby had a little bit of contact while he was jumping, which made him fall off balance there. But he seems to be doing all right here.
Yeah, good point. Luckily, as you said, he was able to walk it off. And now Dark has a chance to get the score. And Bilolo with the early cut. But Boxley poaches off to make sure that the round doesn't. And so Hubby, who was the one who was poached off, gets the disc.
Great around throw by Awadel Kareem right there. Dark doing a great job initially by keeping their stack on that home side when they had the disc on that high side.
Oh, and Khalif puts it to Amel. Oh.
The throw was sitting there for a second, but just lost a little bit of edge at the last second there.
Yeah.
I thought Awadel Kareem was about to have a huge layout score right there. I was super excited.
Unfortunately, I think she was just looking the wrong way when, looking over the other shoulder when the disc went up, and so the time that it took to adjust, the disc just got out there a little too far.
That's right, and many of us have an internal list of who will throw to win it, okay?
Haha. Awadel Kareem plays for Fury along with Opie Payne, who can see
and number 7
out on the field there. Yep, just making the upline cut driving there. And Awadel Kareem also coaches the Stanford Superfly team.
Oh, and now another disc is up, but there's a lot of players coming, and Emmanuel swoops in. And those are the rewards you get for playing heads-up defense. Just because your person isn't cutting deep doesn't mean you can't make the play.
Khalif wants it.
Great
Sees
fake.
the holster.
There's a stoppage of play. Pick was called down the field. We have Hubby with the disc being marked by Green.
Shani Crawford communicating with Khalif Al-Salam in the backfield there.
Yeah.
See who's in the reset space. Great job.
And the disc slips through, and Tarvin gets the D. Maisha has definitely been active this point. I've been seeing her cut deep a lot. Let's see if she gets rewarded. No, instead it's Nate who goes. Oh, but he cut off his cut, and the disc just doesn't get there. And now Dark has a chance yet again. It's been a long first point out of the timeout. Maybe they're having a little bit too much fun, KJ.
Dark seems to be setting their vert stack up a little bit closer to the center of the field now. It looks like it's going to be a trap backhand force on that sideline. Beautiful fill cut by Bilolo as Hubby drove deep. He pulled the defender with him.
He puts it deep to Hubby. What's the word? When your hands just don't line up, KJ, and you just clap the disc. I feel like there's a name for it.
I can't think of an immediate name, but it should be called the KJ because I do it plenty too. So.
Wow! Oh, wow! That almost snuck through the entire
a laser
stack.
beam from Nate Little over to Plato there.
Yeah, Clater was ready.
Got our hands on it.
The disc just had too much heat.
That was hot.
Too much heat. Dude, Hubby working green, getting open at will. Puts it to Salam, who has
making a decisive cut.
Yep. Gotta love it. Oh, but there's been a pick has been called. Davis he was looking real open. And so Nate is going to recover up to the disc. And the force is still flick. He's covering that inside. He really doesn't want to let that disc go. But so Shani just comes in for the easy one. Gets it to Lemma, who gets it to Awadel Kareem. And now they're at the end zone. Will they take their time? Oh, Davis, it's a little short of the end zone. But the great up line. He follows the throw, and he gets open in the end zone for the score.
Bilolo doing a lot at that point. Able to get the block, I think, down on that far downwind end zone over there, and then throwing that score. But on that point, my unsung hero was Shani Crawford. I've consistently seen her making a decisive move either under and then deep or deep and then under, getting the ball, looking downfield for a few seconds, and then just getting the disc to a reset and not losing too many than that reset. It's great to see her just facilitating and able to help her team score really well there. She's not really getting the goals or getting the blocks like or the stats, if you will, but she's really been helping helping the Dark Matters with the disc really well.
Absolutely. I think those are the kind of players that every single team needs if they want to be successful. Person who doesn't need the recognition but will get the job done. And so now here we have the score is 9-7. Dark is pulling to Lights Out. Lights Out we are looking at. We've got Ndovu. We've got Jesse Bolton directing the offense. Let's see what he says. Let's see how it translates to the point.
Opie Payne, one of Awad El Karim's teammates on Fury. She's one of the many star-studded players on this line. Fury is a top women's team in the club division here. She's been doing a lot of work here for Lights Out. She's the center handler right here at the ball.
And now Zoe Rath. Instead of looking off the disc, Opie Payne. Unfortunately, Ndovu, when he cleared, his defender didn't follow him, and he gets the easy poach D. And now Andrew Moore is going to take the center. Is Dark going to take advantage? Unfortunately not. Goodness, and Wakadu leaves the disc behind. And now Jesse has an open cutter. You know he's going to throw it, but it doesn't come off right.
Right over.
McGee makes the play. Yeah, McGee, nickname Hydra.
Robinson, sharp away cut.
Oh. And unfortunately, Covington with the simple poach just takes it. But then he gives it right back and Lights Out. Didn't lose any field positioning. Here's their chance to get 1 point closer. Let's see what Jesse Bolton does with the disc. We have Zoe Rath cutting. Opie Payne. They're still looking inside. Are they going to take an easy reset? No, he forces it around.
What?
And Opie Payne gets down, but it just pops out on the landing.
Bolton threw that from the ground, basically, right to the about knee height of Opie Payne on that cone there.
Oh, and Hydra with the great play. Jesse Bolton was poaching in the lane, and now Zoe Rath has an opportunity there on the unline. This is their opportunity to score. Take advantage.
Robinson with a great catch.
Wow, Covington lays out. Now Robinson, take your time.
Moving the mark with his fakes there.
Oh, but there's definitely been a pick been called. Zoe was way too open. And so now we're going to reset the disc. And as a simple 1-2, and Robinson gets the assist to Payne. Not a bad point. Lights Out takes advantage and brings them one point closer.
Light gets the hold. Robinson, I love how he moved the mark on that goal line there. It makes it really hard as an end zone defender to stop both inside and around shots if the mark is being moved that much. So he was just driving his mark wide and inside, and it let all those windows get open there. Bolton hits the ground there on that around throw.
Oh, so close. Opie had it in their hands, but unfortunately just popped out. But it's okay because they had another chance that we'll see here. Rath takes the easy one, and Robinson. Yeah, so now we have a better angle of that play as we can see Covington laying out, and he almost gets there, but Robinson extends just enough and just in time.
Bolton had a small window there on that around to Opie Payne, and for most players, I would say that that's a really hard throw to hit, but with Bolton and Opie Payne in that situation, I'd probably take that duo on that sideline any day. I think that they can complete that at a high percentage.
Yeah, but now we've got a whole nother duo. Dark Matters is going to get the disc, and we have Khalif leading the offense, talking to his teammates. So we will see what they do differently at this point.
Khalif is a well-known figure in the Ultimate community, originally from the Seattle area. He's coached many youth Seattle teams and actually played for San Diego Growlers, an AUDL team, this past season. He definitely has made his coaching and player presence felt. I know that he's a very vocal player and one that almost everyone speaks very positively about. Khalif's an awesome addition to any Ultimate community.
And Brown decides to just send it to Khalif, who was right there, but unfortunately, again, he does not come down with it.
Can't quite get a hand on it, but he got up for that one. That was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams are definitely looking deep, KJ. Unfortunately, we have not seen as many conversions, but I do love to see the confidence, and I can't wait to see when they start coming down with them, because you know that all these players have the talent too.
I feel like the decision-making has tightened up like a little bit here too.
Speaking of, though, now Nate Little puts it into multiple defenders, and this time Cleve rips it down, this time for the defense.
Colton Green just getting a little bit too far into that disc. It's a hard read when it's directly over the top of your head there. Rafael Castro's been shooting deep today, but decides to swing it across the field. Antoine Davis continues it again.
Oh, and Amel, she was moving, but the disc fading a little bit too much. Unfortunately, not enough IO to get that flat enough to give Amel a chance.
Khalif knew out of the release that was going to be a tough catch. You could see it in him, but
yeah, beating himself up for it.
I'll expect El Salam to get this block back here.
I mean, I will say it did give them great field position.
Antoine Davis.
And Davis wanted the Little, but unfortunately, it seems like we have an injury on the field. We hate to see this. Nate Little, such an incredible athlete and promising Frisbee player. Fortunately, just landed a little oddly on that impact. Here's wishing that everything is okay and that we can see him walk off.
The way he grabbed the side of his leg as opposed to a hamstring makes me think like maybe a Charlie horse or something. It doesn't seem like a hamstring.
Yeah, luckily he's walking off with on his own power, which is always a great sign. Love to see it, and hope that we get to see Nate Little back in the game a little later. But he's taking his time, get him off the field. Oh, someone tried to start the game a little too soon when Nate still hasn't cleared the field. Take two. And now the disc is in, and immediately looks off the deep and just centers to Hydra. And Davis playing that poachy D, forcing the dump. And now Clater with the great cut, but the disc is just a little long, and now Dark Matters has a chance. And Amel puts it over to Davis, who makes the athletic play and has multiple cutters. Oh, and Plunkett was just a hair short. Maybe if he laid out, he could have stolen that from Castro, but instead, Dark Matters scores 10-8.
Antoine Davis just used his length there to go through and get that throw, and then finish it off with the assist there. That was a whole,
Let's see if we can see it again.
So far.
Here's the Davis throw to Salon that he almost came down with. You can see it in his face. He knows. Now here's the put by Nate. And this is instead he makes up for that offensive with the defense, and this time he's smiling because he came down with it. And here's Amel's throw to Davis. Davis is
goes two.
Yeah, it goes two. And just cleans it up easy to Castro.
Castro.
And so now we have lights out on offense. The score is 10-8. We got Ndovu, we've got Boxley, we've got Rath, we've got Green, we've got Jesse Bolton, we have Payne, and we have McGee. All on the line, all extremely talented players, and I'm sure that they want this point bad, KJ. They've been held at this deficit.
I'm trying to think, was there a break this half already? Because we, out of half, I think teams were playing offense going to the left, correct? When there was, and that was the downwind thing with the zone. I was trying to think, like, now they're pulling this way. If they ran the zone, they'd be going upwind. I just forget if a broke happened. So excuse us if we said break when it was a hold or hold when it was a break.
Luckily, with the beauty of technology, if you really want to know, you can always replay when this is posted on YouTube. Oh, and another hand block, this time by Nwakadu. Right as it leaves Zoe Rath's hands, and it gets smacked to the ground. And now Moore's going to pick up the disc. Are they going to take advantage? Are they going to reward Goodness for her play? Oh, we got an open cutter. Oh, and they lay out, and the disc slips through. I know Jesse would say that was because he heard the footsteps.
And Nwakadu was able to read that righty backhand on that inside shot there and just get a hand there. She saw the reset cutting up line. It's a tough throw to make, and Nwakadu was just able to get a hand out there to stop that. It's a great mark.
But now Lights Out has another chance. But
looking crowded here for Lights
good.
Out.
It's forced to high stall and have to do a mid-range hammer. A tough look. Now let's see. Dark Matters finally taking their time on the end zone. Yep, take the easy ones, but it's a little short, unfortunately, from Andrew Moore, and Hutchinson can't get there. Instead, Payne gets the run through D. And now Boxley looking, finds Payne. Bolton decides to just take the under. And now he has the disc. He's got cutters, but there seems to be a call on the field.
Payne made that run through block look effortless.
Yeah, I mean,
not many of us can do that.
Her awareness is definitely showing. It was going to the disc before it was even up. And now Ndovu makes the athletic play over below low and squeezes it through to Green. Covington was fingertip away from getting that D and stealing that.
Green just extended his arms there, and I think Covington might have touched that, but Green luckily had it secured just before he'd gotten there.
And now Lights Out, 10-9. One break away.
Staying on serve here. Like the offense from Lights Out there after the turnover.
Yeah, and I will say I'm glad that the players are keeping their confidence. They're still not afraid to make these throws, but as you can see, that D from Goodness, the moment they released, the unfortunate throw, just a little too long. And here's Jesse Bolton's huck. That was just picture perfect. Wide open to Ndovu, who quickly follows up. You see Colton Green there, and Covington hairs away. Well, it's all right. Now it's 10-9. We have Plunkett with the disc, going to be pulling towards Dart. On the line, we have El Salam, Abdullah, Lemma, Hubby, Shani, Odell Kareem, and James.
I like the decisions that Odell Kareem's been making so far in this game. I'd like to see a line with her and Shani back. Oh, I thought we were going to have Shani as the center. Looks like Odell Kareem is going to be back as the third handler in a host stack. This is the first time we're seeing this offense this game.
Oh, and Abdullah mixing his defender, but unfortunately not a gap between the handler Ds. And now we have Amel with the disc.
Abdullah was driving deep there, but it looked like in this host stack there was a lot of cutters in the middle, which make a huck have to go up high and float up there. So
but he gets the under anyway, and now it's to Shani. And Abdullah is working hard. He gets the disc back. Moves it up to Hubby, who has a streaking Amel, but he's not going to put it because of the great poach by Tarvin. Now she's back on to Lemma, and so Amel comes and gets the under. There's James deep, but looks him off, and instead takes the easy throw to El Salam. Looking across the field, and there's a quick little move by Hubby that gets him open in the end zone for the score. Great little shimmy to lose his defender there.
Hubby actually played for Pitt's A team and also spent some time on UT Dallas's WOOF as well. He's originally from the Dallas area. He's played a lot of Ultimate out there as well. I played a few games out there, and I think I played against him a few times. Definitely a player that we were watching out for. Love to see him get that score there. Little kick spike celebration too. Great flair. We'd love to see that. The kick spike is in right now. Haven't you noticed?
I haven't noticed, but I'm definitely going to take notice after
kick spike?
this game.
It is popular.
Yeah, is it the one?
But not, well, I think some people do like they just like destroy the disc in the kick spike, but like the cool thing to do is to just like kind of drop the disc on your foot like Hubby did there. That was nice. Yeah, you know, you save the disc and you still celebrate.
Definitely. I mean, I definitely appreciate when on the team that I played for, the Gods of Plastic, spiking was not allowed.
Not allowed.
No exceptions. If you spiked and you were on our team, you weren't playing the next point.
I think on the teams I've been on, it hasn't really been specified, but the general rule of thumb has been like, just don't do it. Save the disc.
Well, I mean, maybe it's something that Ultimate can start to take in from other sports. Celebration is something that's encouraged in football, and I would love to see it in Ultimate and get players to the ability to express themselves a little bit more.
Yeah, of course. One team that comes to mind, though, in terms of spiking it, Oregon. Oregon is notorious for spiking it. Bring 15 discs for the 15 points they score.
Absolutely. Got to say, you hate those moments because of the way the Ultimate is organized. A lot of the time, the disc is just the best one that anyone has around, and you hate it when it's yours because no one wants to see it into. And now we've got a center to Payne, who gives it to Robinson, who makes the play. Now we have Ndovu with a great open cut, but there seems to be a call on the play.
Robinson might have jammed his finger on the bid.
You're right. Robinson is going to take the injury. Excuse me.
Looks like he might just be cramping on the sideline there.
Oh, yeah. Julian Robinson getting stretched out, as you guys can see at the bottom of the film. But Ndovu, quick inside. Gives it over to Boxley.
Payne running the show, but decides to push it up here into the stack.
Swings back to Green. Boxley cutting across. Gets the disc back. Plunkett's in the space, and there's a little poach. And there were two defenders there, and they make the play. And now no call. And it's going to be Dark Matter's disc. Andrew Moore walking back to the disc.
Castro was streaking, but there was no one to pick up the disc and throw it there.
Yeah.
Moore was also one of the defenders applying pressure on that block there.
Everybody wanted it deep. They forgot the disc behind. And so he throws it deep, and it's to Castro, but McGee gets there first. The Hydra showing off the skills.
Great poach from McGee there. As I mentioned earlier, that throw over the stack is a tough shot to complete because you have to put some height on it, as you saw there. And one, it gives more space for the wind to pick it up, but two, defenders can read that easier, and McGee did a great job there.
Oh, and unfortunately, speaking of a little bit of pressure, Plunkett drops under the pressure of Andrew Moore.
He was closing fast.
Nope. And so now they're going to take their time. They're going to set up in the end zone. Moore directing the offense. He casually picks up the disc. Castro clears out. Oh, and Bilo Low leaves Boxley behind, but Castro comes in, and he blocked the previous cut, but he gets the disc anyway and gets the score.
And Ndovu poached off there to stop that initial upline, which was great, but unfortunately his guy was able to wiggle past him and score on that open side there as well. That's a break for Dark Matters.
Yeah, what have you seen? The Dark Matters has changed because they seem to be pulling away a little bit.
It seems like they've holstered some of their away shots here and are decidedly driving their cuts up line or clearing harder and then getting someone else to come in the reset here. As you can see, he fakes the round, comes up line. The round fill is there as well, but just not quite enough defenders in that upline space to stop that there. So looks like lights out. We'll be calling a timeout here, try and gather themselves and stay in this game.
Yeah, let's see what Lawrence McKendall has to say to his team because they definitely don't want to let this one get away from them. We are playing to 15, so Dark Matters is only 3 scores away from taking this game in the Con10ent Tour.
I think in the second half, I've seen some great cutting from Seth Abdullah on Dark Matters. I know that Andrew Moore has had his hand in a fair share of blocks as well. Khalif El Salam, you can see on your screen there, has been institutional in just moving the disc for offense. And for Lights Out, Jesse Bolton has been driving the disc really well. Opie Payne staying back as a center handler. She looks very comfortable, obviously.
I mean, it sounds like Lights Out needs to embrace a little bit of the Dark Matters energy because they're clearly feeling loose and free, and it's showing out on the field. Well, Lights Out definitely seem to be taking their time out a little bit more seriously. They are a little bit behind, so they got to come up with something. Got to make a change.
I've been impressed by Izzy Slater so far. She seems to be open. She's making great cuts. Unfortunately, the throwers just haven't quite been able to hit her, but I would like to see them utilize her more on both sides of the disc here. Who have you been wishing has seen the disc a little more, or who do you want to see some more of in these?
When we get in flow, it's really pretty. When we stall because we're tired, not communicating. So I love it when we're in flow. Anybody else?
One thing they're doing, one thing they're doing on us is they're poaching off really hard onto the open side, leaving us wide open on the break side. We could use a call, something like roll or something, to have the handler clear out so we can have a one-on-one square up and just hit that person on the break side. They're wide open. We have people who just throw it to a wide open side. So yeah, you hear roll and you're in the dump set, go blind, get out of here. Because we got someone over there and you're clearing that space for them to come into. Ready? We gotta take this ball.
This is good. We like this movement. All right, who wants to comment? Step in.
Let's see what changes Lights Out makes on this point here.
Yep, Jesse Bolton, one of the coaches of Mixtape, and as you said, he is currently coaching a high school team in Seattle.
Awad El Kareem just keeping her team's energy alive.
Shani enjoying herself. We gotta love it, honestly. At the end of the day, this is a game that we all love to play, so gotta love to see that energy carry over to players' interactions with each other. And so Dark Matters is going to pull, and will Lights Out, will what they talked over in their timeout make a difference? I guess we're about to find out.
I think Lights Out will get the hold here. I hope, knock on wood. I don't hope not to jinx them here, but
I mean, never forget about the commentator's curse. Don't say it. If you don't got something to say, just don't say it.
Nate Little back in. Love to see that. Number one on that line there.
Yeah, but here we have on Dark. And by the way, for those of you watching here at home, make sure that you come and check us out on Instagram, Facebook, on Twitter, YouTube, and of course, you can contact us via email or check out our website, all Disc.Diversity.
Disc.Diversity run by Shani Crawford, number 83 there on that line. She has done a wonderful job having Disc.Diversity spread throughout the country, and I definitely encourage anyone and everyone to reach out or follow Disc.Diversity if you can. The pull's up. Jesse Bolton to catch, but it's just fading out of bounds there. Zoe Rath is the other handler with them. Lights Out stays in this vert stack. They've stuck with this for most of the day. I think Dark Matters went into a host stack, I believe, earlier on. But Lights Out seems to be wanting to perfect this vert stack right here. And now we see a zone from Dark Matters as well. We saw this 1 point earlier.
Yep, and Lights Out quickly adjusts.
They're running a 2-3-2, 2 on the handlers, just forcing back to the middle with the 3 in the middle, and then the 2 deep splitting players in that backside there.
And now Izzy Clater, great cut down the middle. Jesse Bolton has the disc.
Lemma, one of the handler
guards. What's he gonna do? Yep, he sees someone cutting, but it gets hit. Who got? Did you see who got the DKJ? Was that
I did. I was watching downfield.
Yes, so was I. But that disc clearly stopped in its tracks. Let's see a replay right here. Covington closes up. Oh, and Khalif makes a play slightly off screen and just hits it out of bounds.
Covington
with a
Big
great
fake.
under, great fake. Jesse Bolden can't keep up. And now Lemma with a great center to Hutchinson, who finds Davis, who has a cutting Shani. And yep, who cuts and gets the under, but this is a little high, and Clater snatches it down. Not going to give anyone else a chance. And now Jesse airs it out. But unfortunately,
just going to
a little bit too much air.
And Jesse Bolden.
And so he's doing,
doing
his
push-ups
push-ups
on that far right side. You rarely see it in the game, but I guess after his second one, he decided he needed to cash him in.
Exactly. He's showing his teammates he knows. That one's on him. Oh, and Izzy Clater almost runs through, but Shani gets the disc. And so now we have Lemma. Centers it to Hutchinson. Has Covington cutting, and Jesse's just a little slow. And now Davis and El Salam are both there, but Davis just lets it fall through the hands. But is it a foul? I believe so. Got him on the elbow as he was making contact with the disc. But there was an audible groan from the crowd. I think they disagree. They wanted to see Davis come down with it.
Yeah, classic Ultimate crowd that doesn't like to play if the foul was at all a close call.
I mean, here we get a closer look, and I don't know. I think he may have dropped that before the contact was made. But I am just a bystander, just watching.
It seemed that Nate Little did make contact with Davis's shoulder there, but I'm not sure if it was before, during, or after the catch as well.
All we know is that the disc has gone back. Yeah, the disc has gone back to Covington, and so Davis will get another chance. And he wants that chance. He comes back for the disc.
I expect Davis to go every other on this point here.
Oh, Hutchinson is open. But instead, we give it over to Shani. A very consistent cutter in this point has been getting open. But Clater with the good defense this time, and somehow Salam keeps the foot down, but his defender disagrees.
Lights Out thinks that
but Dark
Salam's
Matters calls the score, and Lights Out says it too. Yep, as you can see it in the nod.
Shani Crawford does the replay twice there, putting her foot on the line.
Yeah, and don't worry fans, we'll get a closer look. Salam toss the disc to the crowd to celebrate. And here he's cutting across. He gets the hard stop, but he claims that open space and just squeezes his way in. And Dark Matters gets 1 point closer to taking this game.
Hard to tell just from that angle there. I love Shani's replay though. One of the best parts of Ultimate is whether it's just on scores or like foul calls is a classic one. It's when players try and reenact what had just happened to like show their side of the story, right? Obviously, Shani was just hyping up Khalif El Salam after that great catch, but the instant replay by players showing what happened is always makes me smile.
Yeah, I mean, and for those of you who don't know, we don't have refs. There are no refs in the game Ultimate Frisbee. Sometimes we have things that we call observers. But in those situations, sometimes as the player, you may not even be looking at your feet. You might not even be able to make that call. And that's why we rely on something called best perspective. And Shani definitely showing what she saw, because we need that information to make sure that the right call gets made.
There was a new addition to best perspective actually in this past year or so, where now players in the field, instead of having the call remain among themselves, if a player on the field asks for a perspective that's outside of the field of play, either someone on the line or someone like on the end zone line or just someone who is closer to the play, you can ask for their call on the play, because based on the spirit of the game, they think that person should have a better idea of if it was in or out there. So it didn't look like Lights Out went to an outside observer in that case there, but there are several occasions where you can go to outside observers or outside of people that aren't on the field and ask for their idea on the play.
Thank you. I did not know that, but I think that is definitely a needed addition, because when you're playing, there's so many things that are happening. It's hard to sometimes keep track.
Yeah, it's hard for the person making the catch. I really make catches where I'm watching my toes. I'm usually watching the disc, so it's hard for someone who makes the actual catch to call themselves in or out.
Yep.
Most of the time.
Oh, unfortunately, it just slips through the hands of Green. Bielolo picks it up, and luckily McGee was in the way, but he throws it anyway. And now it's Hubby versus Green. The disc is up. Who's going to make the play? Oh! And Green gets the
Green
D. He
just
said,
got
not today, Hubby.
Top. Hubby seems to be making a call. I think Green may have gotten a hand.
I mean, people are moving. I don't think a call has been made. Let's get a replay here. Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Green just a little.
Just a touch
Just
further.
got a little higher.
Great block.
It's okay. The matchup continues. Payne with the quick around. Throws it up to Plunkett. Unfortunately, this disc, it seems like Hucks going in this direction have a very strong tendency to turn over.
Those flick Hucks are really need to be IO here to stay. I can't really say we've seen many flick Hucks going to the right of the screen here that have stayed and floated on that backside.
No, yeah, I think you're right. They've always turned over. They always turned over right to left.
I can't speak for the players, obviously, but if I was going to throw it, I think I'd put as much IO as possible and try and just put it on that back cone and let it sit there for a cutter to run under.
Oh, well, Moyos, he lays out, but he can't. He gets his fingers on it, but doesn't get the grab. And so here we go, lights out again with the chance to score and get their hold.
Lights out.
Will they?
Big hold for lights out here.
This is a big hold for lights out. They
Starting
can't
at
give up this
half-field.
break. And so we have Hydra. Oh, but Tarvin poaches off, and TK, Takesha Tarvin, says no, not today.
Mark Rawls, hand the defender.
Oh, and Andrew Moore wants it. And there he has an open.
Beautiful
He has
throw.
the open cutter, and Bielolo scores.
That was one of the best throws we've seen all day. That thing was right in stride.
Absolutely.
His defender knew it too. Unfortunately, not throwing up, he thought you could tell that he knew he was beat.
Yeah, no, that throw made sure that only the person that it was the intended receiver had a chance to make a play. Gave him out, put it out with space and time. But here, looking back, earlier play to McGee and to the D by Tarvin, who just comes into the lane. We have Amel, who gives it to Moore, who just puts it up, and as you said, on a platter to Bielolo, who scores with ease. And now we are 1 point away. Is there anything, do you think that this game could end right here, right now on a break?
Lights out is going downwind here, so it'll definitely be some work for Dark Matters to get this upwind score here as well. But the way this game has been going, Dark is looking like they're on a roll right now. I'd love to see a hold from Light, but Dark has looked good. Their away shots have been strong. They have a really strong lineup out there right now. You can see Antoine Davis, Shanique Crawford, I think Sean Covington is out there. Yeah, Khalif El-Salam.
I mean, but I will say this is lights out.
Lemma.
This is their game life, so you know that they're going to want it. And they do have the advantage. They're coming with the disc, and Khalif's disc goes out of bounds, so he decides to do some push-ups too. Can't see it on the screen, but that's okay. Jesse Bolton going to get the disc. And Salam still doing those push-ups. I think he got the full. I think he had plenty of time to get his full 10.
Lights out, trying a hoe stack for the final point of the game here.
And Robinson just going, but Davis poaching off. I think we've got a bracket look from the defense. No, it looks like they're staying in that formation. They're staying in the zone.
Yeah, Dark Matters, again, with that 2-3-2. They've had some success with it in the past, but finds a big hole right there when they overload that one side with two players. And
McGee is wide open, and they're knocking on the door. Will they take their time and punch it in? First, they need to get this disc out of McGee's hands.
High stall.
High stall. And Robinson, let's go. And he gives us with a little spike, shows a little emotion.
White stays in it.
And Lights Out still in it. They still got a chance. 14-10. Remember, game to 15, so they will have to string together a series of breaks if they want to have a chance to win this game, KJ.
Before this game point for Dark here, we wanted to shout out DH Ultimate for providing the kits. As you can see, you have the Dark Matters jerseys on the right side there, not quite on your screen, and then the Lights Out jerseys on that left side with the gradient from the yellow to red. They're really clean jerseys. I love the look of them. Shout out DH. We're glad to have these great designs.
Absolutely. I also want to give a quick shout out to Bay Area Disc Association's former director, Jen Pashley. She has quite literally been a pillar upholding this monumental endeavor. Her export coordination and limitless availability are truly a labor of love, and it is fair to say that Pashley has also been supported by the rest of the Bay Ultimate community. Their huge thanks to Fury Ultimate for lifting major weight and making this event a possibility. And it's because it's not easy to not only occupy the crown, both in the stats, but also in our hearts. So thank you so much to the Bay's generosity, because it has been on full display this afternoon.
Fury players are doing a great job. They're on the cameras right now, I believe. One of them is having to carry around the gimbal down on the field this whole game. Running around with a 5 to 10 pound weight is not an easy thing to do, so we really appreciate all their work.
And now Nate Little throws the disc for what could be the final point. Dark Matters is going to be coming in with the disc once they recover this out-of-bounds pull. It looks like Amel Awal Del Kareem will be the one centering.
Nate Little decides not to do push-ups as the disc is going to get tapped in here pretty quickly.
Who knows? Maybe it's just a mixtape thing. El Salam and Jesse Bolton do play for the same
Maybe
team.
he's saving them for later.
And now we get the quick swing to goodness. And Seth Abdullah. Oh, and Williams makes the play. He doesn't want to go home yet, but then he throws it away just a little too eager to make the break.
Opie Payne was streaking deep. She had steps.
Yeah, but it's a hard throw to hit that a deep cutter on the inside. And so Dark Matters gets to reset, take their time, and get their O point back.
Phenomenal block, though. I think that he was just waiting for that under and was able to get a piece of it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Great anticipation by Williams. The question is, can he do it again? Or will Dark Matters march their way up the field? So far, they're making moves, but they own Williams. He was there.
He was close again.
He was there, but he was a little short. And now we've got cutters going. But the disc is thrown, no one. And so Lights Out quickly picks up the disc. They want to take advantage. The defense has not been fully matched up yet. Now we're a little bit more in a set play. Clater gets the quick one in the middle to Payne. Oh, who puts it just behind Nate, and he can't make the catch. Let's see Dark Matters take their time. They're settling once again. Opportunity 3 to close out the game. Awal Kareem centers to Bilolo, who has Abdullah. Abdullah looks down the field, swings it to Awal Kareem, and both Abdullah and Bilolo are cutting, but Boxley is there. Is he going to make the play? He does!
It was only a matter of time before Boxley made a big play. He has some closing speed right there, easily able to get out in front of that throw.
Not a bad throw by Amel, but Boxley just with the closing speed.
Able to just get passed by Bilolo there. I think the throw decision and the execution was there, but Boxley just able to get a good read on that and chase it down.
We get some help for the fans throwing the disc down. No, from the cameraman. You know, shouts out to him. Thank you so much. I'm sure that we're going to get a lot of great photos at the end of this. But now we still have a point to finish. Payne with the under. And Clater is wide open. Fakes it deep. Little keeps it close. He's got cutters going, but he wants to keep it easy this time. Boxley agrees. Keeps it under. Looks off the deep cutters. Gives it to Payne, who cuts up line. It's inbounds. But Payne decides to air it out to Little. Take advantage of his height.
That's a break for Lights Out.
And it Lights Out gets to play another point. And I was going to say, Nate Little definitely taking advantage of his height there. He didn't even get off the ground.
Yeah, he was able to just kind of box out the two Dark Matters defenders right there and get his left arm up and make that catch with routine.
And for those that haven't noticed, Nate Little is our resident southpaw on the field. Which in ultimate can
that was his dominant hand.
Yeah, which in ultimate can be a very good advantage when people have a tendency to force flick. Backhand is usually the more natural throw.
That was a great point for lights out. We saw obviously that great block by Williams, and then he was close in that second one. Beautiful chase down block by Boxley, and then I think most importantly, the change that we've seen since the rest of this game is that on their vert stack there when they were cutting, they were pretty smart. They weren't using a lot of lateral movement, but they had 3 separate deep shot occasions that they looked off that I think they for sure would have thrown earlier in the game there, and it turned out great for them. You know, Boxley looked off one to Sean, I believe it was, and Nate Little also looked off one earlier, and it worked out great for them. They got the break.
Yeah, I believe the word that you used earlier was tighten up, and I could not agree more. That just a slight adjustment in the decision making, which they definitely were pushing a little hard at the start of that point. They slowed down, and it only got better. And so now Payne with the pull, and lights out. Needs another break if they want to stay in this game. But we've got a big line from Dark Matters, and they're going to try their hardest to end it right here. We have Choopsy Lemo looking deep. Instead, she goes to Salam, who Mark Rawls lays out for it, but there's nothing to lay out to. So he gets the under to goodness. Moore is open. Khalif El Salam pushing it.
You can hear the sideline giving talk to the defenders. This game is really tightened up.
Yep, and Davis all alone on the sideline, pointing to what he wants, but he doesn't get it. And so Choopsy Lemma comes across, open. And they're knocking on the door, gives it to Andrew Moore, and it goes high, and it hits him in the hands. But he just can't get his fingers around that disc, and that gives Lights Out another chance.
Moore set that cut up.
Oh, but there's been a call on the field. We have El Salam with his hand raised. That was a call or an injury, unfortunately. Hate to see it again. We're going to have Maisha Tarvin being helped off the field. Crowd giving her a hand. Unfortunately, hate to see her not be able to walk off on her own. Sending her our best. And luckily still has a smile on her face. And so we have Clater coming in to replace, and this is Lights Out's chance.
Andrew Moore set up that upline from way on that far sideline. He had plenty of space to do so. The throw just hung up just a little bit again on that slight upwind side.
But Andrew Moore also still had a chance. He had his hand. He had his hand on the disc. He had his hand on the disc.
Let's see what Lights Out can do here. Mark Rawls, normally a hand there, picks up here.
Centers it to Zoe. Colton Green alone. Oh, and he's still got plenty of space. Moore is poaching off, and Davu catches it, gets the under. To Rawls, swings it to Green. Looks off Rath because the defender was right there. Payne gets the under, coming right down the middle. And now Payne gets the up line, but Mark Rawls decides to take his time. He wants to keep it easy, but unfortunately, Ndovu just caught on the back foot. But there has been a foul called on the disc. Yep, no contest from Salam, so the disc will go back to Rawls.
Shani Crawford looks like she is enjoying chasing Opie Payne around the field right now. I just saw her.
Oh, and Castro wants this disc.
She had a great big smile on her face. You can tell that their players are really enjoying the intensity, but really the good spirit of this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is great practice for Shani. They may be playing each other soon. Oh, we have Choopsy cutting, and he puts it. But who's going to get there? Oh, Moore gets there, and he's going to take his time. And this time, he converts, and that is the game. 15-11, Dark Matters over Lights Out. The final score, El Salam to Andrew Moore.
That was the forehand shot that we've been looking for all game. Really had some IO drive, just sat out on a platter for Andrew Moore. Just great execution by Khalif El Salam.
And hopefully you can hear the applause. The crowd is standing up, thanks to the Con10ent Tour, bringing out all these wonderful players to the field, getting to show off the sport that we love with players that are unfortunately underrepresented in the scene, but who clearly have all the talent and the ability to really make their names in Ultimate.
Absolutely wonderful crowd out here tonight. I know that fans came from all over the Central Coast and some even drove from out of state to come see our game here. There is one more game in this Con10ent Tour. The Con10ent's final game will take place on November 6th at 5 p.m. in Rainier Beach High School. It will feature an up-and-coming youth game and stands to be the crowning stop of the tour. We want to shout out Disc Northwest for covering each player in every city under their broad organizational umbrella. There can be clearly no Ultimate Tour without Frisbee. We're screaming thank you to VC Ultimate for supplying us with the finest flat balls. Discs are also available for purchase in both white and black, the latter barring the autographs of the Tool's inaugural all-black core.
To everyone for joining us.
action. I got a diamond back. Things and unlocks, things will attack. Curious travelers, don't you lack. Come into my crib and you won't come back. Yo, my hair is snakes. Green melanin that you can shake.
Decades ago.
Wonder about my cave,
But
yo,
look
life
at
I'll
this.
take. Stare
It's
into
a
my
journey.
eyes for a goddess of terror, you're a petrified tree. I turn dudes to stone, making you forget you ever left your home. I'm Medusa. Julia Wallace. Hey, love you guys. Support Disc.Diversity. Donate to us. Support. Keep this content going. Keep it growing and expanding and doing more things like that. You know, and supporting all the workers and also frisbee. And again, I wasn't kidding about that pickup tomorrow, Sunday morning. Y'all got any leads on anything? Yeah, where can we play tomorrow? Because we'll be here for one more day. We only got one more day. I got tomorrow night. So yeah. Come talk to us. Yes. Tell us where the pickup game is at because we want to play. Okay. Because we brought our cleats. We packed the cleats so we can play. I brought a dark. I can get a light from somewhere. I brought a light too. Help me out. So yeah, there we go. Thank you, please. Thank you for going to pick up trash and get some food in the food truck. Thank y'all so much. Have a great night.
I did? Well, you put me on the spot. No, I think it's incredible that I haven't played any of you out here, and we can just show up. I think that takes a really special group, and I think that this community has that more than the other community. So, thank you. I can't wait for more of this.
I'm in this little Facebook group, like some Frisbee Hall of Fame group or whatever on Facebook. And I see all these pictures of people like nationals and whatnot, like 80s and 70s, all the stew downs, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, where are all the black people? Like I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see any black people in any of these photos. So like recognize that what we're doing is like something monumental where 10, 20, 30 years, you can talk about, no one's thinking about the job for James Smith, everyone's thinking about you were a part of something that was much bigger than yourself. People can look back and look at us and know that, like, I started playing because I saw the content that takes more, right? And that's like a vision that we had, and like, we're a part of that vision, and we're making it successful for everybody else. So recognize you're big, you're big. Black people come through. This is so much better.
All right.